Take me back to the indie pop show back in San Francisco, where I learned that self-love can be practiced, forms over time like a new habit. So we're jumping right out of the gate with some big essential themes like learning to practice self-love, which I really like.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this night? Which show did you go see, and what was it about that show that had you reflecting on practicing self-love?
Right. Oh, I love that you asked me that because I would love to talk about this. Okay, so in September last year, I went to go see one of my favorite artists, Tessa Violet, in San Francisco at the Rickshaw Stop, which is the only venue in San Francisco that I've ever been to, because for some reason, every time a band that I like plays in San Francisco, that's where they play. So, Tessa Violet played there. And I was very moved by one particular part of the night. So, Tessa, a good way to describe her as a whole is, I very vividly remember how she introduced one of her songs that night, which was Sometimes a Bad Bitch is Also a Sad Bitch. I feel like that summarizes her energy. So she has a really sad song called Honest from her debut album Bad Ideas. So she played Honest, and then she spoke a little bit for like quite a while. I think like 5 minutes or something. So she spoke a bit about how, basically, because she's been an internet presence for a long time. And so in the somewhat public eye, we've seen her go from like a more insecure, like kind of person to a very like confident and sure of herself person. And she was talking about that and about how she talks to fans at shows who ask her how she did that, right? And she said that she had a conversation with a fan who asked her that, and she told the fan to look in the mirror and like just to start stuff like that, like becoming more self-confident by looking in the mirror and looking into your own eyes and saying, I love you. And the fan said, well, I can't do that because it's not true. And Tessa was like, oh, so you're obsessed with being right. It doesn't have to be true. You practice self-love like you would practice anything. You practice it like you would practice guitar. You do it even if you're shitty at it at first, because that's what it takes to become better at it.
Yeah, that's not something I've heard before.
Yeah, I know. That really like stuck with me. It like, yeah, I'd never heard someone say you have to practice self-love like you would practice guitar. And when it was framed to me that way, that like changed my entire view on it.